AMD stock is the most bullish setup right now, and in this video I want to talk about why I doubled down yesterday on AMD calls. Okay, AMD stock just looking amazing, not just AMD stock but the overall semiconductor ETF. And then inside the ETF we have stocks like TSM, NVDA, Micron, Qualcomm, and obviously AMD, which all of these are setting up. So this is going to be the most bullish setup that I am in, and I want to go in a full in-depth analysis, must watch video before the market opens. If you guys do enjoy content like this, subscribe with notifications on. Dropping the newsletter tomorrow on sundaystocktalk.com. Sign up, and then obviously we got follow us on X. So let's get started with AMD right over here. A quick update. It has been a while. Over 2 weeks ago, most popular video so I'm very surprised with that. But pretty much yesterday, I was able to average down. I'm up 40% on these calls alone, and then on the previous calls, I'm down like 30-40%. So we're pretty much at break even right now. But in this video, I want to go in depth on what I am looking at, because for the past weeks, we have been just getting amazing confirmations here on AMD. Now, the first thing that I want to take a look at is on the weekly time frame. So keep in mind that previously this was a descending triangle, and now this is a weekly falling wedge, and I explained it in the Discord. So if you guys do want the live buy and sell alerts with the chat, make sure to join the Discord. That is where you are going to find that. But pretty much we held on to our AMD trade, because if we take a look at the weekly time frame, we take a look at the past 3 weeks, these 3-week candlesticks are looking very good. We are trading sideways. We held this level of support here, 121. This was a critical level of support, and we saw AMD really struggling with that. The whole market was falling. SPY was falling. We had bad news with the Fed, and then AMD was also dropping because of that. But we saw the technical analysis. We also saw where SPY was sitting, and we decided to hold on to AMD because it just looked too good. Not just AMD, and all the other stocks that I'm going to mention in this video. So if we take a look at back to the weekly time frame, we had this solid falling wedge on AMD. Okay, solid falling wedge going here on the weekly time frame, but I want to talk about the monthly time frame here. So the weekly time frame looks good, the candlesticks look good. What I want to talk about here is on the monthly time frame, because I got 1 month of time frame on my AMD contract. So I got a full month here. We're doing this, a multiple week swing. Now, on the monthly time frame, we can see that the average move on AMD stock is going to be a 10% move. So, for example, a 10% move here, we had a 12% move last month. This candlestick was also a 10% move. We're talking about the overall movement. So, overall movement, we had a 10% move on AMD. This candlestick also here, 12%. 10% over here, and then this candlestick also was a solid 10% move. If we take this ruler out, we can see it was over a 22% move. So we can see that AMD stock is a very volatile stock on the monthly time frame, and that is why I got a month out. We are bullish on the month out. So since AMD stock has been falling just horribly the past couple months, we formed this new candlestick. The probability of us going lower is a lot lower. That is also another reason why I decided to hold on to those AMD contracts. So we're talking about, we're already up 3% on the month here, but we're talking about a solid 10% move on AMD stock on the monthly candle. So our conservative target, very conservative, is going to be like a 136, 137 price target on AMD. When AMD has those, good days, those good months, we're talking about like 20% moves, 23% move here, 32%. But here, very, very conservative target is going to be a 10% move. A 10% move on AMD, is going to provide us with a 125% gain on our options. The options that I alerted on Discord, the new ones. This one is going to be a little bit less, but very, very similar here. We're talking about a 10% move. That's going to be a solid 125% gain. So that is just a full-on perspective shift that I wanted to talk about on the monthly time frame. Let's go to the daily time frame here, where things are looking even better. So on the daily time frame, we finally really found support. We were trading sideways. We could see that we created higher lows here. So this was our previous low, and we created previous low over here. We just need to be above 121. 121 was that level of support. This was really our stop loss over here. We need to be above 121, and so far we are looking good. So above $121, we are going to be looking good for AMD. And as I said, 136 is going to be our price target over here. We also do have earnings coming up, so I think we're going to have this run up to earnings. I do want to get out before earnings. That is why I got January 31st expiration. But this is the quick and short update on AMD. AMD just looking, amazing. 136, and then next 142. But overall, I'll keep you guys updated on the Discord. Okay, now let's talk about the ETF. So this is the Semiconductor ETF over here, and this is pretty much holding all of those semiconductor stocks. And we can see that we have been setting up, we are trading sideways, we're consolidating on the semiconductor ETF. We have others, semiconductor ETF like, SMH from VanEck. But we can see that, this week is going to be the deciding factor if we decide to break out to the upside. If we can close above, we're going to see that explosive move on the semiconductor ETF. So the overall ETF is also just looking good. And I want to take a look at the stocks that are inside of this ETF. And we have multiple price targets over here. The conservative price target is going to be 260, for SMH. If you go to the Discord again, we have played many symmetrical triangles. Google was a perfect example of a symmetrical triangle that we played on the month of December. So next we got TSM. So TSM with a solid ascending triangle. If you go to the Discord, we can see we had a ascending triangle on Tesla, and then we had a play on Apple. Both of those two plays which we played. So we are really familiar with a stock like this. Again, I personally already have 4 contracts on AMD, so I'm kind of just chilling. All of these stocks follow each other. So if you're going to be an AMD and NVDA and TSM, that is not going to be good risk management because all of those stocks are kind of moving together. So TSM looking absolutely amazing. If we take a look at the weekly time frame, just solid ascending triangle. We have been consolidating, close above. So this is going to be a good entry here. Typically for ascending triangles, what I usually want is I usually like it to get tighter. So for example, with Apple, we played on Apple, and we got calls over here, and I got like a month out. It came all the way back down at the level of support, and we were just trading sideways. So the big thing is going to be the support and the resistance meeting together. So for example, Tesla was a solid A+ setup because the ascending triangle, the support and the resistance met perfectly. So that is typically a really, really good sign because the risk, the stop loss is going to be right over there, and it just looks a lot cleaner, and then you don't have to grab like a month out or like 2-3 months out. So this is just an example that I wanted to talk about. Eventually we averaged down on Apple. We got like 2-3 months, and then we had an amazing play on Apple. But this is a quick reminder for TSM. You probably want to grab, I would say like more than a month out, like 2 months out, because if we take a look at the support, we take a look at the resistance, it's meeting around January 31st. So I think you might be needing 2 more months. The ideal entry would be at the level of support. and then you can you can also play the breakout, but just make sure you have the time. The confirmation is going to be to close above 210, so above 210. So next we got NVIDIA. NVIDIA also just looking absolutely amazing. Now the thing about NVIDIA is it actually broke out of its channel. Okay, so taking a look at the past over here, it was kind of falling. This was a massive level of resistance. We broke out of this sort of inverse head and shoulder. We created this channel, and this resistance was now acting as a level of support, but now we closed above the resistance and we are looking good. Now things get interesting on the bigger time frame, so we can see weekly time frame looking good, but the monthly time frame is where it gets amazing, because we could see monthly NVIDIA has really been just trading sideways. So we could see over here, let's have this trend line over here. We can see that on the monthly time frame for NVIDIA, we have really just been trading sideways, and on the monthly time frame we sort of had this ascending triangle breakout for NVIDIA. So we usually got these massive candlesticks for stocks like NVIDIA. We're talking like 26%, 14%, 28%, and then recently it has been just getting like 2%, 1%, 10% at most, but it has just been trading sideways. So we are getting ready for a potential breakout, especially as we're seeing stocks like Apple just breaking through all-time highs. It might be time for NVIDIA to run this month of January. So next we got Micron. Over here, we have been talking a lot about Micron in the Discord chat. So we had a earnings report, it dropped, and it has really been respecting this level of support. We also have this gap as a incentive, so like a month out, 2 months out. Micron technology is just looking amazing here on the daily time frame. Pretty self-explanatory. As long as if we hold the 85 level of support, we are going to be looking good for Micron, and absolutely good. So next we got Qualcomm. We have also been talking about Qualcomm a lot, and just a massive level of support. And with this one, the support has really been fluid here. We had another support over here down below, but we could see pretty much Qualcomm is just trading sideways. It's holding its level of support. We're holding its ground, and we could see like Micron, like AMD, this stock is looking strong. So overall, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just amazing setups. The best play in my opinion is going to be AMD. Okay, AMD is going to be my best play. I have 4 contracts in AMD, and I decided not to play any of the other setups. Just because I already had 4 contracts here, and I don't want to put too much risk in one sector. So overall, hope you guys enjoyed this content. If you guys do enjoy content like this, make sure to leave a like, and see you guys in the Discord, dropping the newsletter tomorrow. And bye. Take care.